What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Culture 316. I'm one of your hosts and producers, and today is another special Culture Connections episode where we connect with our family, our people, our tribe, and they get to be a part of the show. So this gentleman that is joining me on the show, you may have seen him on a previous episode, my guy TJ. TJ, tell him what's up, y'all. Say what's up to the people. Tell him what's good real quick.
What's up, Culture 316? It's your boy TJ here. And I'm happy and humbled to be on the show again. It's like be my second time on the show now. Big fan of Jordan and Mo. And I just can't wait to hop on in and talk about wrestling.
Solid. I think Swaggy, another one of our friends, is going to be pulling up any minute now. He just hit us in the group chat telling us what's going down. But while he joins and while we get that straightened up, I have a couple of announcements. First things first, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share the show. Be sure to give it a 5 stars. That's how we get up there in the ratings. That's how we grow and how we flourish. Is from the support of you guys. We recently had a little Spotify scare. It was really, really weird. Shout outs to our guy Eric. He's always a part of the family. He was just like, yeah, I can't see the last 6 episodes. So we got that straightened up and settled up. So we're good to go now. And all of our latest episodes are on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, as well as anywhere where you can stream podcasts. So there's that. Also, we are looking to build community. And because of that, we have a Discord. If you have a Discord and you want to hang out with us, join the Discord. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description. You can click that and we can get to it. So then there's that aspect. And this weekend, back-to-back shows, which means what? Back-to-back 316 spaces. So we have a space for NXT No Mercy, which I believe is on September 30th. And then we also have a space on October 1st for WrestleDream AEW coming live from Seattle. So you already know how that goes. Come to the space. It's on our Twitter at Culture316. 15 minutes prior to shows when we usually start. My guy Xavier just entered the building. What up, though?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man.
We were just doing a little bit of pre-show announcements and all that, but yeah, man. 316 spaces this weekend. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be dope. You already know how that goes. But we're not even gonna waste any more time. We're gonna get right into the show because this past week it was official. Jade Cargill is with WWE. According to ESPN, she has inked a multi-year contract with WWE. She is officially the first signee during the TKO era. Last week, obviously, we had all those releases, but she's the first person that WWE has acquired under TKO. And in her interviews, with Jade's interviews, she was just talking about how she wanted to be in WWE. This is always one of her goals. How Cody Rhodes' friendship was a big factor in her coming over to WWE. I just wanted to know how you guys feel about the arrival of Jade Cargill in WWE.
For me, I thought it was huge, considering the fact that, me personally, I didn't think that she was actually going to join WWE. I thought she was going to re-sign with AEW, but I'm glad I was wrong because I think that Jade didn't live up to her full potential in AEW, especially with the least amount of opponents that she didn't wrestle, like Britt or Saraya or Toni Storm, or females like that. And now that she's in WWE, she's going to do, I think, very well. She's going to be in the Performance Center more often. She has great coaches to learn from. She have great women wrestlers to gain knowledge and experience from, like Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, Rhea. So I just think it's going to be very exciting to see what Jade does in WWE.
Yeah, for
Xavier,
me,
what are you feeling about this?
I believe that it's a great opportunity for her. It puts her on a bigger scale. You know, she can go do movies. She can do basically whatever she wants, appearances for WWE, things like that. And also, like TJ said, working at the performance center, she'll have the best coaches around and the best talent to learn from, and just be better all around as far as her promo work and her in ring work.
I agree with the both of you. I don't think that Jade was properly utilized in AEW. I feel like she kind of was bigger than the championship that she carried in the TBS title. I feel like she raised the prestige of it, raised the value of it, but it always felt like she was a main eventer. For she was someone who could have main evented big shows and could have had matches with all the women that you guys just mentioned between Tony Storm and Saraya and all these different women. And I don't think that she got that opportunity. I don't think it's right, but I feel like part of what is going to make her pop in WWE, she's definitely going to be a main eventer. She's already discussed, talking about the possibility of her and Bianca as a WrestleMania main event, which I think is more than possible. With
Yeah,
Jade and Bianca being a WrestleMania main event sometime in the near future. But I think it's just great to see Jade doing her thing and be in WWE. I think it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be super super tough, and I'm just very much looking forward to it. I was gonna say, did either of y'all have anything else to add on about Jade and WWE, about potential matchups, anything? Talk
yeah.
to me.
I was gonna say, can you imagine at WrestleMania that AKA entrance? That'd be fire.
That would
Yeah.
be nuts.
Yes.
Do you think she's
Like
gonna
I
keep?
can only imagine. My
Do you
bad.
think she's
I can
gonna keep?
only imagine.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say was that I can only imagine the entrance that Jade and Bianca would have to try to like outduel each other at WrestleMania. That ever happened? That's crazy.
That'd be wild. But like I was
That'd be
saying,
hey Xavier, what were you about to say? Because you were about to say something and then you stopped.
do you think she's gonna change? They're gonna change her name, or they're gonna let her keep it?
Well, I crazy thing is when they did an interview with her, they said that they're letting her keep her name.
Okay.
Or she said that that was something that was very important to her for her to retain her name coming over to WWE. And I think it's smart. Obviously, you know, I feel like she had a lot of success with that name. I feel like it carries a lot of weight and a lot of value. And I think that part of, the allure of it all is that the fact that she's able to come over as herself. So I think I think she'll be able to keep her name. She said that she's going to be able to. So, we'll see what's going to happen.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad.
can I add one more thing to it?
Go ahead.
For like the people on Twitter who are angry about Jay leaving, like if you're getting angry now, imagine if like Ricky Starks or Wardlow leave to go to WWE too. Like,
I think that they're going to be mad. Ooh, I'm so glad that you brought that up.
yeah,
I feel like this Jade thing is not a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence. Um, because I feel like we're about to start seeing a good amount of AEW guys make the jump. I
yeah,
feel like we saw with Cody. NXT was a couple nights ago. We saw those Brian Pillman Jr. vignettes. So
Mhm.
he's about to make a splash. Obviously Jade. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Wardlow is next. He strikes me as a WWE guy.
yeah,
He strikes me as someone who would like he gives me Batista. Like Warlow
yeah.
gives me Batista, and I think that he would thrive. But how do y'all feel about like all these AEW guys jumping over? Do you think it's just like by happenstance, or you think this is like a thing that's about to really pop off and happen?
I think it's inevitable because 2024 is coming up. Most of them are gonna be free agents, so it's gonna be fair game at that point. You got Ricky Starks, like you said, Wardlow. Um, I mean, uh, Brian Cage. All those guys that look like WWE guys. So um, we'll just have to see. And as far as like Jade Cargill, to go back to that, I mean, I feel like as long as they put her in the ring with the right opponents, I feel that she's gonna learn a lot. I mean, just from last last night or a couple nights ago, you see they put Dominic and Dragon Lee in the ring together, and they made magic. So It's,
The match
anything's
was tough.
possible. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That
and
match was.
I think too. Ever since Cody left and came back to the WWE, I think a lot of the AEW guys and girls in the locker room watched that and saw if they treat Cody this way, then hopefully it'll be the same way towards me.
Mm,
And also, I think not only just like the new guys from AEW, like maybe old WWE guys too, like Aleister Black and Malachi Black, who I think who's been underutilized ever since Cody left AEW.
mm-hmm.
I think he should go back to WWE too. Andrade maybe, you know, just great.
I agree, and it's funny because apparently there have been rumblings and reports of Malachi Black not being satisfied at the amount of singles matches he's getting. But
Yeah,
listen, everybody, I think when Cody kind of left and jumped ship, everybody was like, "Oh, that's just one guy." But the realization is that all it takes is one. All
yeah.
it takes is one to start the wave, and I feel like we're on the cusp of the AEW to WWE wave. So we'll see
And I
what
mean,
happens with that. We're gonna move on, but I want to know what everybody at home thinks about Jade Cargill officially signing to WWE with that multi-year contract. But speaking of, Kenny Omega actually got on the internet and he was talking on Twitter about tribalism amongst wrestling fans. And he said, like, hey, just to let y'all know, whenever one of our friends goes to another company, we're happy for them. And y'all out here saying and doing a bunch of malicious stuff, and it's embarrassing. And it kind of highlighted this very, very toxic sense of tribalism in wrestling. So I want to know, how do y'all feel? Do you feel like tribalism in wrestling is toxic? Yes or no?
Very much toxic. Wrestling fans are just they really need to touch grass. They need to
Yeah.
go outside more. You know, like talk to a girl, like whatever, do whatever they got to do. Because the fact that some people on Twitter get this much worked up over wrestling is completely insane to me.
Mm,
Especially the one specific dude on Twitter who's been making news about it. But like, yeah, I just think it's just crazy in the sense of that, like, this never happened, like, even back in the day.
mm.
Like, wrestling fans are not like this. I don't know what changed. Maybe just the internet and social media, and people have a voice now, but I just think they just need to chill out.
for me, I think like I watch every promotion, so I mean I see what fans are saying, but like I rock with every promotion, especially now because um, you know since they had NXT, it's been I mean that's gotten me into different promotions from PWG, New Japan, things of that nature. Because there's a lot of history that guys have from different promotions. So you love to when the story comes full circle. So that's what I love about the different promotions. As far as tribalism goes, I see it on Twitter a lot, and I just shake my head.
I, to kind of build on what both of you are saying, it's weird. Tribalism in wrestling is weird because 9 times out of 10, it's coming from someone who's not signed to either promotion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if the WWE cats is not getting, tribalistic, if AEW cats who's actually signed to AEW aren't very like tribalistic, then I don't understand why everybody else is getting all worked up. But I feel like what happens is wrestling fans are very, very passionate. I feel like wrestling fans are very, very passionate, and when they like a certain product, they're obsessed over it. And sometimes I feel like what ends up happening is that people get so immersed in one product and the benefits of that they don't see the good in other products. And because they're obsessed with the product, they don't think about it as an organism with people in it who have lives and goals and families. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure Jade has a bunch of positive relationships in AEW. It's just natural. Whenever you go to a place to work, you're going to have some friends. You know what I'm saying? But she's doing what's best for herself and her family and her future and her own personal goals. And it's not a stab at AEW. It's just like she's just doing that, and she's just moving forward with it. So I just think that the tribalism is weird. It's very toxic. I understand why people are tribalistic. It's the same reason why people are passionate about sports teams, right? Like you love a sports team, you get passionate about a sports team, you want to champion that thing. But like it's one of those things where it's like, bro, we have damn near wrestling on every day of the week, and you can watch
Yes.
it all. There's no reason to be this obsessed over the product to the point where you're like trying to bring people down because they left your favorite company. That's just weird. I think it needs to stop. Um, but I want to know how everybody else feels about it, about tribalism in wrestling. Let us know in the comments below. But we're gonna move on because we got two shows. We got two shows worth of predictions. All right. This weekend we have NXT No Mercy on September 30th. We have AEW Wrestle Dream on October 1st. Both shows are going to come with spaces, 316 spaces. So if you're on Twitter and you want to watch with the gang, be sure to tap in on our Twitter 15 minutes before bell time. But we're going to get right into these predictions. We're going to start with NXT No Mercy. This is going to be a stacked card, a lot of good matches. But let's start from not the bottom of the card, but let's start with a non-title match. We're going to go Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. Who do we have in this match?
I have Braun Breaker simply due to the reason I'm waiting for him to get called up to the main roster.
Mm.
I think he is way overdue for that, and I think bum ass boring Baron Corbin is boring. So there you go.
Xavier, who do you have?
Breaker, Braun Breaker as well. Um, I think they need to change his name before they move him up to the main roster. I don't like it, but I think the main roster spot.
I like Braun's name. At first, I didn't like it, but it grew on me. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Braun. I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker on this one. I think, like y'all said, he's long overdue for a main roster push, and I feel like the character work he's done in NXT is great.
Mhm.
Because right when we thought he was gonna go up, he turned heel, and he's been doing some great stuff as a heel, just like he's been doing as a face. So much love to him. We're going to keep going with these matches, though. Next, we're going to do the NXT North American Championship. Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams, with the special guest referee being Dragon Lee. Who do we got?
I got Dominic just for the sake that Dragon Lee got to get his lick back. so, so I want him to retain just so he could get his lick back. But if I had to choose, I would go with Trick. But
Whoop that trick.
Mm,
My heart is telling me Trick, but my head is telling me Dominic is still going to retain.
mm. You know what? I think Trick Williams is going to pull this off. I
I
think
hope so.
I think Trick is gonna pull it off. I think obviously this was, by the way, to give context, the match originally was for Mustafa Ali to face Dominic Mysterio. Obviously, he was released, therefore he will not no longer be in the match. Um, however, I do think that I do think that Trick, because of his like not random ascent, but because of he has generated so much momentum so quickly that it's generated enough like momentum for himself. So I feel like we're going to see Trick Williams get that NXT North American Championship. So that's my prediction for that match. But on to the next match we have for the NXT, and this is going to be a match of the night. Mark my words. NXT Heritage Cup Championship match. We have Noam Dar versus Butch. I'm calling him Pete Dunne still, but they're calling him Butch. So who do we have? Who do we have for this Heritage Cup Championship match?
I got Pete
Well,
Dunne.
first off, I want to say kind of the metaphor is kind of growing on me.
Same.
Uh, specifically, uh, uh, Jakora Jackson. Yeah. But besides all that, I want to say Butch to win it because I think we're gonna get the old Pete Dunne in that match on I think it's Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday. But I think I see Noam Dar retaining the Heritage Cup.
Mm.
I got Bush.
You got Pete. You got Butch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Noam Dar. I'm gonna go with Noam Dar on this one, just because I feel like he's really starting to strike something with metaphor, as you guys
Yeah.
had said, and on top of that, he's like lost this a bunch of times. So it's like I think he can't afford to lose, but I do have Noam Dar winning this. He has way too many assets in his arsenal between his in-ring work as well as three other people ringside. So, moving on to the next match, we have the NXT Tag Team Championship match. We have a fatal four-way. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks versus Out the Mud versus the Creed brothers versus Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Who do we have in this match?
I have the champions retaining. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know too much about this match. I only know about the Creed brothers and champs. But you have the champions retain, and also think that the Creed brothers, just like Braun Breaker, are long overdue to get called, especially for the tag team division.
Mm.
Um, I love how they did this build up to this match. Actually, I watched NXT the other day, and I like how they were all sitting, just chatting, and they all came in and asked for a shot, basically. Um, but I got the champions retaining. If I would have to go, if I would have to go with somebody different, I would have to go with Angel Garza and Humberto.
I'm gonna have to go with both of y'all. I see the champions retaining. Like X said, I love the build up for this match. The seats at the table was really, really creative and different. And that's a testament to NXT Creative. Shout outs to Shawn Michaels. But I do see the champions retaining. Fortunately, because there's two other teams in this match where that won't eat the pin. You can still generate the perception of, well, you didn't beat us. So it keeps other teams looking strong. So I like that. But yeah, I got the champs walking out as the champs. Now the next match, the NXT Women's Championship is on the line in an Extreme Rules match. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. Who do we have?
This match may be a sneaky match of the night, though. I'm not gonna lie. Especially with being Extreme Rules, no telling what
Mm-hmm.
they'll do in that match. But I still have Becky retaining. They just put the title on her, so I don't see the reason why they take it off her yet. And I think Tiffany Stratton, she's doing a good job too
Mm.
on NXT as well. So, but other than that, I have Becky retaining.
I think Becky's retaining just for the simple fact that she promised Tegan Knox a title shot after she beats Tiffany Stratton, so I think they're gonna continue that story.
I'm gonna go with Becky. I can see Becky retaining. When Becky first got the belt, Mo and I was going at it because Mo was just like, she shouldn't be the champion, she shouldn't have the belt, da 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 da
Yeah.
da. But we already see this reign paying dividends. It's on the biggest platform it's ever been on. I don't think the NXT Women's Championship has had this much exposure in ever, to be honest. It hasn't had this much exposure. She's crossing paths with a lot of people and she's giving out new opportunities. Most notably, Tegan Knox is apparently the next challenger in line. And I feel like because of the way that the other brands and programs are set up, that's a talent that would not have had the opportunity for the other two brands and the other two championships. So the fact that we see Tiffany Stratton getting her main roster reps in, the fact that we see Tegan Knox being elevated and put in a story. already that elevates who she is because she's getting that nod and that rub from Becky. Um, this the whole thing is paying dividends, and I'm really, really excited about it. And for the last match of the night, NXT Championship match, Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. Who do we have?
I gotta go with the boy Mello because Mello don't miss.
Melo don't miss.
Mello don't miss.
And it's their third match, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, this is tough. I'll have to. I'm gonna have to go with Mello, just cause he don't miss. But and I think if Trick wins the North American title, they could continue that story and maybe do a unification down the line. So
Uh, Also too, I want to ask, do you guys think that Brian Pillman Jr. will make an appearance tonight? I mean, at that show at that show? I think so.
Possibly.
possibly.
Possibly. Anything's
I guess
possible. I don't know how he would make that appearance. Maybe during the North American Championship match. I feel like putting him in that picture
um
would be great for him. But I
or
don't know.
or or like they can just do how they usually always do with NXT's new signings, just have them in the crowd and just like show them and stuff like that. You could do that too.
That'd be tough. I would like to see
Yeah.
that. I would like to see that for sure.
Do you think Jade is going to NXT or she's going to main roster?
Uh, I think Jay will probably do a little bit of both, considering that Becky will still be NXT Women's Champion by then, probably. That's how I think it will lead to Jay's debut. It can either be her winning the Breakouts tournament or her just challenging Becky Lynch, just like how Kevin Owens did on his Raw debut when he did with John Cena. I think you could go that way.
And he did it with Sami Zayn as well. So
Yeah. I think
because I think if they do show somebody, it's going to be Jade in NXT. So, I
I
mean,
can see them. I can see both of them making appearances, but Jade more so than anyone. But to
Yeah.
answer to answer the prediction question, though, I'm gonna say Dragunov. I feel like
Oh wow.
I feel like considering that Melo has already taken the last two matches, unless they want Dragunov to go to the main roster immediately after this, I feel like it's his time to have a championship reign, at least as NXT champion. So I'm gonna go with Dragunov on that one.
Yeah, I agree because he's been losing a lot of championship matches lately.
Yeah,
And
a
it's like,
lot.
how many times can he lose? You know?
Taking
and he
these.
already lost
But
twice.
I
So
I want I want to know how everybody else feels about the NXT No Mercy predictions. But we're gonna be moving on to AEW WrestleDream, an absolutely stacked card, and we're not even gonna waste any time. So I'm gonna go with the first match that's on this card: Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. Who do we have?
Oh, easy, Ricky Starks. Enough
Ricky,
said.
nothing else needs to be said.
I'm gonna go with Ricky. I'm gonna go with Ricky as well. Um, next next match, we're gonna go straight into it. We got the Young Bucks versus the Guns versus the Lucha Brothers versus Orange Cassidy and Hook, and the winning team gets a future AEW World Tag Team Title match. Who do we have?
Uh, I see the Young Bucks winning, and the reason why I say that is because the next pay per view, Full Gear, will be in California at the Forum, so
Oh
it kind of makes sense.
yeah,
Young Bucks FTR again.
Xavier, who do you got?
I'll have to go with the Young Bucks as well.
Hmm. That you just reminded me that it was going to be at the Forum. I definitely need to check into some tickets for that. But
Right, you should definitely go there.
I should definitely go. But here's a here's a here's a curveball. I'm gonna go with the Guns.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Guns. The
That was my
Guns,
first pick,
in
but
my
I
opinion, are one of the hottest tag teams in AEW. They have a lot of momentum. They've been winning matches. They're a part of what I believe is the hottest faction in AEW,
Yep. The Bang Bang
Bullet
Gang.
Club Gold, Bang Bang Gang. And so with Jay White moving into that main event scene, challenging MJF, I think that there has been kind of like a mandate passed down, right? We're probably going to see Juice challenge for a TNT or international title soon. We're probably
Yep.
going to see, and with that in mind, I feel like the Guns are going to go for those tag team championships. So
Also, I'm pleading to Tony Khan, please, please buy Mini Man song for the Bullet Club, please. It
nah,
just fired when it came out to it.
it is you're not lying on that.
Yep.
Tony got the money too. Tony got that unlimited sync money. But
Yes.
anywho, for the next match, we have Chris Statlander, the TBS champion, versus Julia Hart for the AEW TBS championship. Who do we have?
Um, I have Chris Statlander retaining, even though I've been impressed with Julia's Hart improvement over the last few weeks.
Mm,
Like she's really growing into her own now. So, but even still, I still have Chris Statlander retaining.
mm.
Chris
X, who do
Statlander,
you have?
Chris Statlander retaining as well. Even though on AEW TV today they did say that Julia Hart hasn't lost in 17 months, so
Yep.
it's, it's a toss up right there.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with. I'm definitely going to go with what you call it. Definitely gonna go with Julia Hart.
Okay.
I think that this is someone who has been progressing and getting better and better with her character work every week. And I feel like this is her time. I also feel like the TBS championship needs a kick. It needs something, it needs a zest. I feel like it kind of got a little stale when Chris won, but I don't think that that's her fault. I think it's just the nature of championships. I feel like a heel gives the championship value, the
Right.
face is good for a moment. So, you know, but I got Julia Hart on that one. The
Julia,
next match
Julia Hart's
for
gonna
the
be
Ring of Honor World Title and the New Japan Strong Open Weight Championship, we have Eddie Kingston versus Katsuyori Shibata. Who do we have?
I gotta go with Mo's uncle, Eddie Kingston. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really happy for Eddie Kingston that he won the ROH World Title as well, and I
Same.
thought it was long overdue. And I just think he's gonna keep the momentum going. He's gonna be Eddie three belts, and I believe that him and Shibata are going to beat the crap out of each other in that match, and it's gonna be very good.
gotta go with the boy from Yonkers, man, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well. Eddie's having a moment right now, and
Yes.
they're definitely capitalizing off that heavy. So I'm gonna go
Yes.
with Eddie Kingston on that one. The next match is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT Championship. We got Christian Cage, the champion, versus Darby Allin. Who do we have?
I think this one's gonna be a damn good match between Darby and Christian though. Because like last time they wrestled, they put on a banger, and it's gonna be in Darby's hometown in Seattle. So
Mm-hmm.
you know Darby's gonna go even more crazier than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna go with Darby to win the AEW TNT title though.
Mm. Who you got, X?
I'm gonna go with Darby, even though Christian just technically won it. uh, but it's in Seattle, so I gotta go with Darby.
I agree with that. I definitely am gonna go with Darby on that. I just think it's Seattle. The TNT Championship is really, I feel like it's Brody Lee, Darby, Cody are the
Miro
top three
too.
TNT champions of all time. And so I feel like Darby's gonna win it. Darby's gonna win this title. So moving on, we got I can't believe I'm saying this. We got Chris Jericho and the Golden Lovers versus the Don Callis family, which is Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay. Who do we have in this match?
First of all, the thought of this match is even mind-boggling to begin with. Uh, but I'm gonna go with the Don Callis family. I think they have a lot of momentum going on, and
Yeah.
I like the story that they're telling with Kenny having him on his losing streak till he builds himself back up. and I'm loving the Sammy and Jericho feud starting, which I thought has been long overdue for Sammy to turn on Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see um damn, I forgot his name already, but Kota Ibushi and Takeshita to beat each other up again. So it's even more exciting.
Right.
I'm about to go with the
I
family as well.
I was gonna say my bad. Keep going.
Oh no, you're good. You're
I
good.
was gonna say definitely the Don Callis family. They got some momentum going. They're fresh. I feel like the younger group that AEW is going to eventually push is in that Don Callis family group between Sammy,
Right.
Takeshita, Will. So I'm gonna say them.
Yeah.
X, what was you about to say though?
Oh, the Don Callis family as well. Uh,
And I also think that Kenny Omega would be taking the pinfall too again.
Ooh, do you think Takeshita is gonna pin him though?
Yes.
So you think it's gonna be 3 times Takeshita has a pinfall victory over
Yep.
Kenny Omega?
Yep.
That's bold. You talking crazy, but I love it. Next, we have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Title match. We found out obviously that Adam Cole has an injury, and that he will need surgery, and that
Mhm.
MJF will defend his title on his own in a handicap match versus, I believe, Aussie Open. So who do we have? Do we have MJF single, or do we have Aussie Open?
I thought it was this group in ROH called the Righteous. I think he's
Yeah, I
facing.
think. Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, I think that's the one. The righteous. My bad.
Yeah. There you go. That one I still have MJF retaining somehow. Even I don't know that much about the Righteous, although they look like a rip off of the Wyatt family to me. But
Mm.
other than that, I still have MJF retaining.
X, who you got?
I got MJF retaining, but MJF is in a lot of stuff right now.
Mm.
With
Yes.
what happened at the end of Dynamite tonight with Jay White and with the Adam Cole situation. So
Yeah, he's dealing with it. What I will say though, before I give my prediction, is that what you call it. So there was Bray. I mean, Vincent spoke on this. Um, he was actually originally handpicked to be Uncle Howdy, until Bo Dallas took the role. So obviously, like the righteous have a very clear Bray Wyatt influence in them.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think that the righteous are going to win. I do think that the righteous are going to win those Ring of Honor tag titles. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the righteous are going to win those tag titles because it is a handicap match. It doesn't really make anybody look weak.
Yeah.
So for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, we have FTR versus Aussie Open. Who do we have?
I think that match is going to be a banger of a tag team clinic between those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
I still have FTR retaining the titles, even though Aussie Open is a damn good tag team.
Great tag
Uh,
team.
I still have FTR retaining the tag titles simply because of the match earlier with the Young Bucks. So it makes sense.
X, who you got?
I have FTR as well.
Mm. I'm gonna go with FTR to round that out. But I think it is going to be a great match. Next match, and this is gonna be my favorite match of the night, or one of two: Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve. Who do we have?
You already know Swerve. Like I can't wait for his entrance on Sunday because of one person on us dancing is always entertaining, and two, I think we may Swerve may have another rapper come out with him in his hometown in Seattle, so he's gonna have something big to plan for that. And also, I think this is a match that I've thought about in my head that it could happen, and now that it's actually happening, I'm actually excited because it's a new feud and it's different people interacting with each other. And I
Mm-hmm.
think Hangman and Swerve can put on a damn good match too. But I still have Swerve winning though.
X, who you got?
I was Swerve winning as well. I like the contrast of styles, the fact that they're two different people, and you know they got their own motivation that they're fighting for. So it's gonna be a banger.
Man, I'm gonna go with Swerve. I'm gonna go with Swerve, and I feel like this is also gonna be Swerve's coming out party
Yeah.
because I feel like this is usually there is a match that catapults you into superstardom. I feel like this is going to be the match for Swerve. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I think Swerve is gonna kill, and his pop is gonna be crazy because he's in Seattle. But now for the main event, and arguably that I feel like is going to go down as one of the best matches in pro wrestling history. The American Dragon Brian Danielson versus the best technical wrestler in the world, Zack Sabre Jr. Who do we have?
Uh, well, first I have Brian Danielson winning. I do think this would be a great technical wrestling match for people who love that style of wrestling with the grappling and the submission holds and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not the biggest Zack Sabre Jr. fan, I know what he's capable of, and I know what Brian Danielson is capable of. So it's going to be a damn good technical wrestling match. And I hope that we get final countdown in
Yes,
in Seattle. So I'm excited about that.
I agree. I agree for sure. Wait, X, did you give your take yet?
I got Brian Danielson since it's in his home state, and gotta gotta send him home big.
So essentially, we're going a clean sweep for all the Seattle guys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think all three of them will get the three most biggest pops the whole night.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think I'm gonna go with Brian Danielson. Not as much for it being Seattle, but because we now know that this is his retirement tour,
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be collecting W's
Hmm.
for the rest of his tenure as a wrestler. So, but yeah, I got Brian Danielson as the winner of that main event. But I feel like that's going to go down as like the match of the night for sure. Like it's something
Yeah.
that we were waiting for since Forbidden Door one. So it's going to be a
people
crazy
who
Oh,
match.
love technical wrestling are gonna. Yeah.
I'm gonna be out there salivating. Okay, drooling.
another question is: do we expect to see either Mercedes or Edge to show up at WrestleDream?
Ooh,
Because I think at least one of them has to show up there, and I think another one has to show up at Full Gear.
I feel like if I had to pick one, Edge,
Yeah.
Edge, not just Edge, but Edge at the end of the
Oh
Daniel
yeah, with
Bryan
Brian. Oh yeah, that would be
match.
great. Yes, that would be great. And I think you save Mercedes for the Forum in Los Angeles at Full
I could
Gear.
agree with that. I could see
Yeah.
that. X, what do you think?
I think it's gonna be Edge, and then like TJ said, Sasha or Mercedes Monet at the forum.
Mm.
It's only right, you know, because
You got to give the people what they want.
Got to give the people what they want. I I just came across a tweet about Adam Cole's foot. Yeah, that man definitely about to go into surgery. But um
it's
that
legit.
concludes that's legit. It's legit. Uh that concludes our AEW Wrestle Dream predictions. Let us know how y'all feel about it in the comments below. Once again, we got a 316 space for No Mercy, a 316 space for Wrestle Dream. Pull up on the kid for both of them. But that concludes today's episode. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, X, for stopping through. Once again, if you like the show and you want to be on the show, we got a Google form in the description box below. You tap into that, and we'll do what we got to do to get you on. I'm trying to maximize this whole location as much as I can. So if y'all want to join me up here, y'all are more than welcome to. TJ, thank you for pulling up. X, thank you
No
for
problem.
pulling up.
No
And
problem.
yeah, thank y'all so much for joining this episode of Culture 316, and we will see y'all next week.